In the top left corner of Triton, as the red Zerg, one of the best you can find south of the border, it's JimRising. And in the bottom right corner, as the blue base god of Mech Terran, it's Avilo. We're actually hopping back around. So this is from the round of 16, I want to say. Most of the tournament, moving on to the round of 8. But, or excuse me, it's look. The bracket is all over the place right now. We'll check in between maps, but the bottom line is one of these two players going to be moving on to the next round. The other one going to be eliminated here. Hatch gas pool out of JimRising. Avilo with the Reaper expand. Avilo, SCV scouting his opponent in the morning, defending the hidden leaf in the afternoon, and wrecking nerds on ladder in the evenings. Factory swapping onto the reactor here for Avilo, and that means it's going to be some Hellion play. Starport going down as well. Jim just going to chase around the Reaper with the Forlings. No kills on it just yet, nor should it. Oh! Reaper gets cornered, and it will go down here around the 3:30 mark. Jim is not expanding here. This is way too late for an expansion. There's a lair. This is... If we see a second and third gas, I'm going to say 2 base muta. If not, it's probably going to be a Nidus play. Yeah, there's some more lings from JimRising. Here comes the Hellion aggression from Avilo. 4 queens here to intercept, and the lanes get the interception at the top of the ramp. Avilo totally deflected here. Avilo dropping a fusion core, but this does get scouted here by JimRising. This tech lab is ready and waiting for the starport. It's like, woo, senpai, connect with me. Jim going for the Link Flood. Will get at least a couple SCV kills here. Viking forced to land. With the Hellion should be able to clean up the Lings, but not before there is some worker damage here to the base god of Mech Terran. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, Bernie Sanders fan. I do have alerts turned off while I cast these games, but they go back on the splash screen. Much appreciated. Avilo going for a third base, poking out with the Hellions, getting a few lane kills here. 3 drones going down in the mix as well. Should be able to fry 2 more of these lanes before losing the final Hellion. Okay, so JimRising was going for like 2-ish base Muta. He did take the 3rd for the extra larva. And saturated it a little bit, but still basically 2 base Muta. And here they come! It's going to be 10 on the production tab, 9 going to hit the field immediately. The 10th going to be a little bit delayed. The blink from the battle cruiser lands in the 3rd of JimRising. Avilo will get deflected here. There's more than enough Muta. And unfortunately, he can't blink out. Yeah, JimRising needs to be careful with his Muta micro here. So far, saving every single one, and he does take out the battle cruiser. This is beautiful Muta micro from JimRising. 10 Mutas produced, 10 Mutas surviving, and the Viking and the BC get taken out. +1 on the way here for the Zerg. He's going to be a little bit supply blocked, but 5 Overlords about to pop to alleviate that. Jim's going to want to heal up some more health on these Mutas. A lot of them already almost back up to full HP. However, first Thor about to hit the field here for Avilo. And that splash damage is pretty awesome. So JimRising not going to get too much economic damage done against his opponent. Thank you for the follows. 12 Gizzy and Avilo did nothing wrong. Several Mutas do finally go down here, but JimRising also picking off a few SCVs in return. And here comes the turtle mech from Avilo. So JimRising gonna be mass expanding here. He should know what he's up against. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 5th or even a 6th base. In the meantime, Avilo moving out with a double Hellbat drop. I miss Doc, so I watch you. Thank you for the follow. Also, Special Agent Mueller. These dank screen names. Avilo _ Atira, thank you for the follow as well. Okay, JimRising swooping back in with the Muta, but Avilo is going to totally deflect any and all punishment. He needs to move out this 3rd soon here, just building up his Thor count. Hellbat drop, not going to find any damage. Oh, the medevac gets picked off, so Hellbats will go down to Lings. Hive, tech on the way for JimRising. Mech is really hard to play against as Zerg. I think it can be more effective than Bio. It's certainly much less interesting to watch and cast, but JimRising's probably going to want a few Ravagers in the mix here. Avilo does have a couple tanks on the field, but he's going to try to hit while Avilo is split defending this 3rd base. And before that 3rd base economy can really kick in. Alright, Avilo's doing everything he can to hold with the Thors. He has the SCVs pulled to repair here. Another tank gets picked off by the Muta though, and Avilo's defense is crumbling. JimRising with a very well-timed attack, connecting tons of bile with the Thors. Even though he took quite a bit of damage, he will stutter step in and take it down. In the bottom left, as the red Zerg, it's Macaco's JimRising. In the top right, it's the defender of the Hidden Leaf Village, the Blue Terran, Avilo. I dig the Avilo turtle. I really do. JimRising taking game number 1. Avilo just never able to get too much economic damage done to the Zerg. And JimRising with a well-timed Roach Ravagerling push. Muta's picking off the tanks in the background. Drena Javanoso, thank you for the follow. KLG Sizor, thank you for the follow as well. You know, despite how convincingly JimRising took game number 1, I think Avilo definitely has a chance here. Avilo, with your classic Reaper expand against JimRising's hatch gas pool. Jim, able to sneak out a couple lings. Avilo finishing the CC like frame perfectly, hopping the SCV into the command center, rallying it out the other side, and able to save it. Unfortunately, he can't say as much for these two Marines. They kind of rallied on the wrong side of the barracks. JimRising with a nice little bit of ling aggression. And he's going to drop a pretty early Roach Warren here as well. Well, I guess it's not early, but, you know, his third isn't finished yet. Avilo's Reaper gets shut down. Roachborn finished here for JimRising, and he is going for 8 roaches. This is about a 35 drone roach attack here. There's 10 roaches, and he's going to try to break Avilo. Avilo with 2 barracks on the field and Stim not going for his base god of Mech Terran play, but instead some bio, and I think that's going to trade pretty well against these roaches if he can get the numbers up. He kind of has a sense of what's going on. He's getting the bunker on the low ground, continuing to pump out Marines. Medevacs on the way as well, and there's a tech lab on the factory. JimRising might be moving into a trap. He needs to morph some Ravagers. He can afford 2 right now with his gas. But, okay. He needs to focus the SCV building the bunker. He's going to let the bunker finish. Just going to allow Avilo to defend a little bit better here. 3 of the Roaches pretty injured. A 4th down to half health as well. Medevac's going to make these Marines pretty tanky. And Stim has finished here for Avilo. This is held. Avilo holds. Jim packing it home with his Roaches, getting out 8 more drones. Avilo going for a 1.5 medevac drop. Jim getting up a Baneling Nest. I think that's really wise. I don't think Roaches scale very well against this Marine composition. He can always go Lingbane Ravager with the ones he has on the field. Jim going to be a little bit supply capped here with that Overlord going down and no more in production. A second Overlord going to go down as well. A third going down. Yeah, Jim needs to... He's building 3, but the larvae are still going to stack up thanks to injects. Supply block will be eliminated a little bit with some of these Lings going down, but it's still really bad. Haha! I cleared my supply block by losing units. Jim getting a 4th base. Avilo going to threaten the 4th a little bit with these Marines, but he shouldn't get a kill. Oh, there's some juicy Overlords here, actually, if Avilo drops a stim. But JimRising should respond in time. Yeah, Avilo didn't see it. We'll get one. Behind this, our Blue Terran getting out more Thors. Mech upgrades on the way. Missile turrets going down. Drilling claws started up. JimRising going to morph in a huge wave of Banelings and move into Hive Tech. The Hive's about halfway finished here. 12 more drones hitting the field, and he's sitting comfortably at 70. You can go up to 80, even 90 in this matchup, but given that he's going up against Bio, we shouldn't see too many more workers out of JimRising. He's just going to be producing military units and upgrades as he heads toward max out. One Ling gonna run in here. Nice tank shot. We'll take it down before it can kill a worker. Jim going for the Ling Flood. Avilo needs to get into position here. The tank isn't sieged, and the store is a little bit vulnerable. Oh, no, Jim gets pulled back home thanks to this drop, and Hatch is canceled here by Avilo. Oh, the medevac survives for now. It's very low on health, though. If Jim moves his queen in to intercept, could get picked off. Avilo just going to sit it back here. He loads up a double Hellbat drop to go into the Nat of JimRising. Jim will see it. It's going right down the creep highway. So super scouted here. Hellbat's just going to clean up some creep tuners, not going to make beeline it for the Nat. One Hellbat does get picked off. Avilo has the SCV wall up. Some tanks here to get shots off on the Lings. Jim going up to 6 base. He knows he's playing up against a Turtle Terran. He's going double Spire for those 6-6 double upgrades. 2-2 on the way for the Zerg here as well, plus 2-2 mech, armor, and weapons on the way for Avilo. JimRising has quite the army on the field, though. This game could go either way. Oh, several Hellions get taken out in a surround by the Zerg. Avilo, pretty far ahead in army supply, is going to want to hold this 4th base. These tanks are going to do terrible, terrible things to these Banelings if they choose to continue to engage here. JimRising, I think, wisely going to back out. But, I mean, Jim just has such a massive bank behind this. He got that 5th base up, he got that 6th base up, and his economy is pretty out of control on 80 workers. He has Vipers at full energy in the air. And he can just afford to smash into Avilo again and again and again and again if he wants to. Avilo getting up a 5th. JimRising going for 11 Corruptors as he wants to move into Broodlords here. He's leaving some supply open so that he can morph in those Broodlords. Raider Spire seconds away from finishing. Avilo closing in on max out. +2 armor about to hit the field for the Terran. Ship weapons on the way as well. Goodbye, scouting barracks. Avilo moves in some Hellbats. Honestly, I would just turn these around and smash them into the Banelings to get some gas traded out, but Avilo gonna kite down some lanes, and he will escape. Oh, no. Banelings coming in from the other side. JimRising cleans up that little bit of aggression. "11 Broodlords morphing onto the field here for the Zerg. Avilo finishing up 4 more CCs. Liberators hitting the field for the Terran. And both players are maxed out here. JimRising with an absolutely massive bank. Avilo starting to catch up a little bit, though. Oh, no! The Yoink and the Parasitic Bomb on the medevac. Taking out a Thor as well. Nice play here from JimRising. And we've seemed to have hit a little bit of a stalemate. JimRising with absolute map dominance on his creep spread. Some Chad Ghosts in the mix here for Avilo. +3 vehicle plating on the way, as well as Ghost Cloak. Where is it? There it is. And we're heading into the ultra late game here. Avilo's going to want to start cleaning up some of this creep. It's going to establish a 6th base, and probably try and take this top left corner as well. Jim is going to be feeling confident that he has enough of a bank to engage efficiently lose some of these units and remax. Thor's gonna trade out with a few Ravagers. Avilo knows the angle that JimRising's coming in. He has a bunch of missile turrets in play. Takes down the Changelings. Jim doesn't want to move at on the attack after being scouted there, but we now have a 7-base Zerg against a 5-base Terran. I think Jim might have waited a little bit too long to start trading in against Avilo. Remember, Terran's going to start muling up, and he has a lot. He has many orbitals. I mean, at this point, Avilo can start thinking about trading in SCVs, just sending them out to die so he can continue increasing his military. Jim moving on the attack with some spine crawlers and some spores to help strengthen this army. Avilo gets the scan off. Here's the siege on the planetary. Huge Dorito cannon on the Broodlords. And we have a nuclear launch detected. I'm not sure where that's going to land. There it is. It's going to start pushing back this creep, which of course means that these buildings are going to start bleeding out. The Dorito cannon has worn off of the Broodlords, and it looks like JimRising will get the kill on this planetary. SCV is not pulled to repair. Here comes a huge amount of Liberators. There's the Dorito cannon on the Broodlords, and that's a lot of army value just absolutely evaporated here for JimRising. Of course, Avilo will be losing these Liberators as well. He did not split against the Parasitic Bomb, but I think Avilo comes out ahead in that trade. However, JimRising with 7,000 minerals, 5,000 gas in the bank, going to be able to replenish here quite soon. Oh no, he flies a Viper into the missile turrets. That's not ideal. Banelings rolling forward will get 30 SCV kills, though. And the planetary is in the red. Alright, Thor's coming to help out Liberators in the air. Auto turrets dropped on the ground as well. Some Corruptors going down here for JimRising. Avilo running out of bank quite quickly, getting 4 more Thors out, but Jim still sticking to 7 base, plus the macro hatches. And still with a pretty formidable bank here. Okay, Jim launches an 8th base, a nuke going to soften up some spines and kill a couple drones. Oh, no. No, it is going to kill a couple drones. Oh, that's unfortunate here for Jim. There's nuke number 1. Here's nuke number 2. Oh, gets stopped. Poor Ghost. Avilo is remaxed behind this. A lot of lings went down to that Widowmine, actually. That was like 15 lings there. JimRising gonna try and break into the net and get in on the Terran production. There is a concave of Thors, though, so that's not going to happen. Alright, Avilo setting up the liberation zones. Jim does not have enough to break through here. I don't know what he's thinking, but he has only Corruptors against Mass 4. Avilo loses almost nothing, and JimRising bleeds out 50 army supply. He has to retreat with these Corruptors. The Dorito cannon gonna soften them up even more. Avilo needs to make sure he doesn't move into his own nuke. Oh no! Oh no! The Thors are in range of the nuke! No. Okay. Avilo cancels the nuke. Alright. Jim gonna bleed out a base here. He is expanding up here to the left. But, Avilo's gained map control. Again, he needs to make sure he doesn't nuke his own units. Jim moving in here, but he's gonna eat 2 nukes to the face! Oh my god, the Bird Lords all go down! Avilo pushing in here! Jim's entire army supply, it completely evaporated. 1,300 minerals, 3,600 gas in the bank means he will be able to replenish a little bit, but Avilo's gonna pick up another base! He still has Thors, he's gonna remax quite handily off of this, and Avilo is up to 6 base behind this. JimRising is on the back foot. Nuke's gonna pick off another couple queens, a little bit more static D. 2 absolutely epic nukes here from Avilo. Some banelings, roaches going down here. Avilo with absolutely great use of his nuclear hellfire. JimRising trying to use Ling Roach Ravager to take out the Thors. Files will do significant damage, but Avilo can afford to replace this army. JimRising cannot. Jim is totally out of minerals. He has some gas in the bank, but he's flooding Lings here. 18 Lings against 150 supply Avilo. In the bottom left corner, as the red Zerg player, give it up for JimRising. And in the top right, as the blue Terran, it's the based god of mech and defender of the Hidden Leaf Village, Avilo. Jim with a hatch first. Avilo giving us a series, winning game number 2 in a 25-minute epic slugfest, where he opened with Bio and ended with Mass Thor and a few well-placed nukes. JimRising getting up his gas pool. It's important to remember that, you know, neither of the 2 previous games did JimRising want to take it to the late game. He launched all-ins both times. We are on Zen here, so we will very likely see like a 2.5 base play once again. Some kind of Ling Ravager aggression or some kind of Muta play out of JimRising. Thanks for the follows, the Hunteroo and Pretty Tony 555. Really appreciate it. I'll roll the follow alert after the game for you. Avilo going for a reactor on the barracks, getting up a factory, so very likely going to be Hellion play. One more blue Terran. Jim fighting off the Reaper with his 4 Lings. Eternal Empire was one of the more macro maps in the pool. Zen quite a bit smaller here. So I think this map favors JimRising quite a bit. But we will see. Will we see? We will see. I think these are 2 pretty evenly... Ah, oh my god, can I get a sentence out of my mouth? Okay, these are 2 evenly matched players. And, This definitely can go either way. Starport, I'm gonna swap onto the Tech Lab for Avilo. Unfortunately for him, it's right as the Overlord pokes in here, and it's gonna be a Banshee play out of the blue Terran. We'll have to see if he gets Cloak. I don't... Okay, he is going to get Cloak. So, most likely we're going to see 2 Banshees as Cloak develops here. This could be fake as well, given that Avilo totally knows he's been scouted. Maybe not. That's a lot of Hellions. There's the armory. Okay, this is going to be Hellbat Banshee. Jim hasn't scouted the armory. He does have 8 roaches, though, so he's going to be, like, totally fine. I don't know if Avilo should commit to this. Okay, he scouts the roach count. JimRising is not going to wait for Avilo to make a decision here. He's going to push forward with the roaches. Banshee needs to start dealing damage as soon as possible. Supply depot is down, so the roach is going to walk right in, already getting a delay on the 3rd CC. Hellbat's morphing in, but it's a trap. Avilo's saying, hey, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. SCVs helping the Banshees, helping out the Hellbats, and Avilo with a really nice hold here. Jim going for a Ling strike at the other side. Both supply depots are down. Let's see if Avilo reacts in time to repel this. He does not. His focus is centered on his attack against the Zerg 3rd. A lot of the Hellbats do go down here. And Avilo loses a dozen workers back home. Oh no, this is absolutely devastating. Banshees have a lot of work to do. If they want to even this up, they will take out the Spore Crawler. But this Spore going to zone out the defense here for JimRising. And Avilo has to find a way to deal with these Lings. Okay, Banshee is going to take a while to clean this up. He will lose this gas. The CC shouldn't get lit on fire. Jim knocking on the front door with more roaches. Avilo holds here, but like at what cost? He's down to half the worker count of his opponent. Jim can do pretty much whatever he wants. He's getting out 15 more drones. Going to make that economic lead even bigger. Avilo will have +1 mech weapons on the field, but he has to make something happen with these 4 Banshees. Alright, picking off the Inject Queens is a nice start. It's going to get a Spore Crawler here as well, but these guys don't have a ton of energy for Cloak. Another Queen gets picked off. Avilo doing what damage he can, but it's still an uphill battle here for the Terran. 3 of the Banshees will get out, battered and injured, but alive. Jim making a play for a 4th base, and also getting a Spire behind this. Roach speed hitting the map for the Zerg. Avilo moving out a 3rd. Thinking better of it, pulling back the 3rd. And our blue Terran is beginning Thor production behind this. He's gotten some juicy hits on these drones. Alright, about 9 drones for 4 Hellions. Not bad. Not bad here for Avilo. Still 40 workers to 60. The Thor mine should be pretty effective against any incoming muta, especially only 7. Roaches are going to... Is this going to be a Dropper Lord play? No. They're looking to intercept any incoming Hellions, and Avilo waits to go in, so that's actually going to be effective. Jim knows he's ahead. He's going for an infestation pit here. Likely going to get into Hive Tech. And continue droning up his 4th. Well, maybe not continue droning up his 4th. He's on 80 workers, so doesn't really need to get any higher than that. Muta will intercept this Banshee. Oh, no, they will. Jim is going for a Nidus play here. He does have an Overlord in position, but Avilo also has radar towers up, so it's not going to go undetected no matter where he drops it. He has an Overlord over here as well. He could drop it just outside of the range of the vision from the radar tower. There's the first Nidus. Avilo totally sees this. It's all about how he reacts. He's gonna throw up a missile turret right away. And this is going to be a Swarm Host play here from JimRising. He has about 9 on the field. I don't know, he has about 12. Okay, no, he has a lot more than I thought he did. Widowmine defense here, pretty inventive from Avilo. Gonna take out a ton of the Locusts, and it's just gonna be a tank lost here for the Blue Terran. Banshees gonna soften up a couple of the Swarm Hosts, but not really get any kills. Avilo sees the other Nidus go down at the edge of the radar tower. Muta going to try and intercept the Banshee here. 2 Swarm Hosts will get picked off. 1 Swarm Host will get picked off. Here come the Locusts. Auto turret dropped. Thor will go down. 2 Thors. +2 air weapons on the way for JimRising. He's trying to use these Muta to distance the Banshee so they can't hop in on the Swarm Host. Some Ravagers might... Oh, well, just 1. Avilo is almost maxed on 3 base, actually. But Jim is going up to 6 base behind this. This isn't even really to get damage done. Avilo can hold this if he plays his cards correctly. But Jim is just mass expanding behind it. Avilo going to be a little bit supply blocked from that depot going to hurt. Yeah, from that depot going down. Jim totally maxed, building up a bank. Oh, he's a lot of Widowmine hits there, though, and these Roaches are exposed. This is going to buy Avilo a little bit of breathing room. Jim going for 15 Hydra and a Lurker Den behind this. Banshee not going to dive in on the Nidus. There they go. Avilo needs to establish a 4th base, though. I mean, I said a little bit earlier he was approaching max out on 3 base, but he just ate 15 SCVs and losses. Oh my god, a couple Swarm Hosts getting picked off by the Banshee, but Hydra's good units also. Okay, about 5 Swarm Hosts were picked off here. That's a lot of value lost for JimRising. But how are these Thors going to hold? 3 of them do go down before the Zerg melts. However, JimRising on an absolutely incredible make behind this. Avilo, totally besieged here, shutting down Nidus after Nidus. I mean, hey, this is where his turtle play totally shines. But JimRising just trading out so well here. Avilo finally getting up a 4th, but his main is mined out. And Jim still sitting pretty on 6 bases, with no fear of harassment from Avilo. Actually, looking at the units lost, Avilo trading pretty effectively, even against the Swarm Host, but just on a way tinier economy than the Zerg. This Locust Wave still has half their timer left, and the CC might fall. Oh no, Avilo didn't lift in time. The CC goes down, as will another dozen SCVs. Thor's coming in from behind, gonna trap in the Roach Hydra, but they will lose a couple in exchange. And Avilo on a very tiny economy. 1 or 2 more Locust Waves, and I think we might see Avilo melt. This is going to be a very hard game to get back into. Avilo knows it, and he's pulling the remaining Thor Banshee. This is a YOLO attack. Oh, no, he's not going to attack. Oh no, this Locust Wave is going to take out at least 2 tanks, at least. And the Hydra are going to come in from behind, clean up the remaining Thors, clean up the Banshee. And that's going to be GG. Swarm Host, good unit, LOL on this map, says Avilo. A maxed out JimRising. The 3 I knew would be Swarm Host because Zen is free win for that unless T plays perfect. Good luck in games, says Avilo.